Here are your coffins, which you paid for, with your tax money. There are millions of them waiting for you in different states across the country. Each coffin can hold 3 or 4 people, and most of you will be crammed into one right after martial law is declared in America. Your President George Bush is an important member of the Illuminati. The master plan of this satanic group of puppets is a new world order. Their goal is to kill 90% of the world's population, so they can better control the rest of us, and they will start in America. They have already built many industrial ovens inside the FEMA death camps. These ovens will be used to get rid of the dead bodies. However, even burning these ovens day and night, they will not be faster than the gas killing hundreds to thousands of people at a time. So the plastic coffins will be used to store the rotting bodies. I have very important information that is crucial for you Americans to know. On March 17th, the House of Representatives held a special closed session. This was only the 4th time in 176 years that Congress has closed its doors to the public. Not only did members discuss new surveillance provisions, as was the publicly stated reason for the closed-door session, they also discussed 1. The imminent collapse of the U.S. economy to occur by September 2008. 2. The imminent collapse of U.S. federal government finances by February 2009. 3. The possibility of civil war inside the USA as a result of the collapse. 4. Advance roundups of insurgent U.S. citizens likely to move against the government. 5. The detention of those rounded up at Rex 84 FEMA camps constructed throughout the USA. 6. The possibility of retaliation against members of Congress for the collapses. 7. The location of safe facilities for members of Congress and their families to reside during expected massive civil unrest. 8. The necessary and unavoidable merger of the United States with Canada for its natural resources and with Mexico for its cheap labor pool. 9. The issuance of a new currency, the AMRO, for all 3 nations as the proposed solution to the coming economic crisis. In the span of less than 4 months, gasoline prices will rise 500%. This has already begun. The prices of both food and shelter rise over 300%. Unemployment levels will reach over 40%. The savings of millions will evaporate overnight due to currency devaluation and bank failures. Unrest will begin in the larger cities first, then spreading out into the countryside. Strong and repressive laws are newly enacted as police and military forces spread throughout the country to counter all signs of growing rebellion. If you are an American hearing these words, you must understand this is happening now. It's not conspiracy theory. It is fact. We are in the midst of these cataclysmic human events. Let me explain to you the red, blue and yellow list. Red list. These people are the enemies of the state. They are the leaders of patriot groups, outspoken ministers, outspoken talk show hosts, community leaders, and bloggers who talk about the government. These people and their families will be dragged out of their homes in the middle of the night. They will be driven to a black unmarked helicopter waiting to fly them to FEMA detention camps to be killed immediately. This will take place approximately 2 weeks before martial law is enforced, shortly after the crash of the economy.
This is Aaron Russo, a filmmaker and former politician. To his left is Nicholas Rockefeller of the infamous Rockefeller banking and business dynasty. After maintaining a close friendship with Nicholas Rockefeller, Aaron eventually ended the relationship, appalled by what he had learned about the Rockefellers and their ambitions.
I got a call one day from an attorney woman I knew, and she said, "Would you like to meet one of the Rockefellers?" I said, "Sure, I'd love to." And we became friends, and he began to divulge a lot of things to me. So he said to me one night, he said that there's going to be an event there, and out of that event, you're going to see we're going to go into Afghanistan, so we can run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We're going to go into Iraq to take the oil and establish a base in the Middle East, and we're going to go into Venezuela and try and get rid of Chavez. And the first 2 they've accomplished. Chavez they didn't accomplish. And he said you're going to see guys going into caves looking for looking for people that they're never going to find. he was laughing about the fact that you have this war on terror. There's no real enemy. He's talking about how by having this war on terror, you can never win it because it's an eternal war. And so you can always keep taking people's liberties away. And I said, how are you going to convince people that this war is real? He said, but the media can convince everybody it's real. I mean, it's just that you keep talking about things. You keep saying it over and over and over again, and eventually people believe it. You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11, which is another lie. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie, and now they're going to do Iran. And it's all one thing leading to another, leading to another, leading to another. Now, I would say, what are you doing this for? What's the point of this thing? You have all the money in the world you ever want. You have all the power. I said, you're hurting people. It's not a good thing. And he would say, what do you care about the people for? Take care of yourself and you take care of your family. And then I said to him, what are the ultimate goals here? He said, the ultimate goal is to get everybody in this world chipped with the RFID chip and have all money be on those chips and everything on those chips. And if anybody wants to protest what we do or violate what we want, we just turn off their chip.
That's right, microchipped. In 2005, Congress, under the pretense of immigration control and the so-called War on Terrorism, passed the Real ID Act, under which it is projected by May 2008, you will be required to carry around a federal identification card, which includes on it a scannable barcode with your personal information. However, this barcode is only an intermediary step before the card is equipped with a VeriChip RFID tracking module, which will use radio frequencies to track your every move on the planet. If this sounds foreign to you, please note that the RFID tracking chip is already in all new American passports. And the final step is the implanted chip, which many people have already been manipulated into accepting under different pretenses.
We have a Florida family who are really pioneers in a brave new world. They have volunteered to be the first ever to have microchip identification devices implanted into their bodies.
After 9/11, I was really concerned with the security of my family.
I wouldn't mind having something planted permanently in my arm that would identify me.
In the end, everybody will be locked into a monitored control grid where every single action you perform is documented. And if you get out of line, they can just turn off your chip, for at that point in time, every single aspect of society will revolve around interactions with the chips. This is the picture that is painted for the future if you open your eyes to see it. A centralized one-world economy where everyone's moves and everyone's transactions are tracked and monitored, all rights removed. The most incredible aspect of all.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
This is an extraordinary period for America's economy. Over the past few weeks, many Americans have felt anxiety about their finances and their future. I understand their worry and their frustration. We've seen triple-digit swings in the stock market. Major financial institutions have teetered on the edge of collapse, and some have failed. As uncertainty has grown, many banks have restricted lending. Credit markets have frozen, and families and businesses have found it harder to borrow money. We are in the midst of a serious financial crisis.